Hey guys, welcome back. So picking up where I left off, I decided to split the last video into two videos because it was getting long. So this is part 2 of the second video that I posted. And so in this video, I'm going to talk about my first appointment with the fertility specialist. So I did in the last video, I talked about seeing multiple gynecologists, and none of them could really help me at their level, and that I needed to see a fertility specialist because whatever was plaguing me could not be resolved at the gynecologist level, so I needed advanced help. So I did drive up to San Antonio, and I did see the fertility specialist, and so I'll get into that experience in this video. And I'm just sharing my experience. So I hope it resonates with someone. I want you to know that you are not alone. I want you to know that there are other people, other families, other women who are experiencing exactly what you have experienced. So, and so fast forward to about 2014, at this point, it had been 5 years of trying to conceive. Nothing has occurred. And in 2014, it was my 10-year reunion with my sorors, my line sisters, and we planned to meet in San Antonio, which was perfect because that's where the fertility specialists were. So I was like, okay, perfect. We're going to meet in San Antonio. I'm going to set up an appointment to meet with the fertility specialist, and I'm going to start that journey. So get to the doctor. It was a female fertility specialist. Her name was Dr. Brown. She's a black lady. I'm not sure if she still practices, but it was encouraging to, and I actually didn't seek out a black woman, but it's always encouraging for me to be treated by a black female physician. It makes me feel at ease. I feel more comfortable. I feel like I don't necessarily have to fight and express, like be overly dramatic or overly expressive for them to hear me, because I don't always feel heard by my physicians, and that's really sad. But you know, that's the plight of a lot of people here in America, and maybe throughout the world. But this was a black female fertility specialist, so I was doubly excited because I didn't realize it until I walked into her office that she was black. So I was like, oh, hi, Dr. Brown. So she connected me to a machine for ultrasound to get a follicle count, and that's pretty routine for your first appointment with a fertility specialist. So she's like, oh my God, you have 20 plus follicles. This is great. You're a great candidate for IVF. You're young. You've been trying for a number of years and haven't conceived a baby. There's no medical reason why you should not be pregnant. You have all of these eggs. Perfect. We'll get started with IVF right away. I think the estimate was about $25,000 for the treatment. So I left that visit feeling very, very hopeful. At the time of my life with my line sisters, I always do. We always have a good time. I love those ladies to life. And like, we had a good time. I hadn't seen them in so many years. So it's just overall a good weekend. Go home, tell my husband at the time, you know, met with the fertility doctor. She said it's going to be about $25,000. And she said that she has openings and we can start right away. And he was like, okay. And I was like, so what do you think? And he goes, I don't want to pursue IVF. That's something that I'm not interested in. And I was like, wow. I thought a number of things. My first thought was, you selfish bastard. You selfish bastard. He had children from a previous relationship. I did not have any. And he said that he did not think IVF was right for us at the time. And what can you do? On one hand, I had to respect this decision because this is something that's impacting both of our lives, and if he was uncomfortable or if he just did not want to embark on the journey with me at this time, I understood that. It was hurtful to me because I thought, you don't understand. You're not giving enough credence to me in this particular situation. You already have children. We don't have any children together, and I was very disappointed in his decision. And looking back, that probably was one of the first major cracks that led to the deterioration of our marriage. I was not prepared for his response. In his defense, this is a very emotional period in both parties' lives, right? Like he had to ejaculate in a cup, at least 3 times for the IUI procedures that we had conducted. He had to get his sperm tested, so that was another process of depositing sperm in a cup. And so it was not easy on him. I'll defend him a little bit. I'll defend him just a little bit, because it was this is a process that takes a toll on your relationship. It really takes a toll on the two people who are in the relationship, and we were no different. So I was not happy with his decision, but at the same time, I too was feeling the strain and the toll of carrying infertility, carrying the emotional baggage for so long. At this point, it had been years. And so I too was like, let me just take a step back. And so from about 2014 through 2018, so for 4 years, I didn't do anything. I didn't have any medical interventions. I didn't see any doctors regarding my fertility. Now, this was a crucial point in my life because as women, age is not on our side when it comes to reproducing. So during this period, I was in my 30s, which are crucial. It's a crucial age to take advantage of your reproductive capability. And it was at this point that I just decided I didn't have it in me. I did not have it in me to do anything else. So around 2016-ish, maybe, my ex-husband came back. So this is about 1.5 years, 2 years after, he stated he didn't want to go through IVF. He came back and said, maybe we should try IVF. Maybe we should pursue that route for us, to conceive a baby. But listen, honestly, if you know, you know. I was finally accepting because we still were trying to conceive a baby, but it was not, we weren't overly dictated by our calendar and, always having sex whenever I was ovulating. We were just kind of living, and when he approached me with the support that I needed, 2 years ago, I was just at a point in my life where I was not ready to subject myself to any additional medical intervention. I knew the toll that it had taken on me, and so I was recovering at this point. You never quite get over it, but you accept it, and I was recovering with what my life may look like in that relationship. And so it's like, I don't know, I don't necessarily think I'm ready to pursue IVF at the time. And so yeah, from that period, we didn't do anything. I actually got my gynecologist retired, and so I had to, go see another gynecologist. If you guys can believe it, didn't mention my infertility at all. It was just not a subject that I wanted to discuss. I didn't want to take pills. I didn't want to have surgeries. I don't want an IUI. I don't want any of that. Like, I was living life. My older sister had just had a baby around this time, so I had a new nephew, cutest little thing. My cousin, she had a baby. Like, I always have had children in my life, and so I was living on them and just accepting the role that I thought, may have been meant for me. So we basically just kind of left it in God's hands. We had people praying for us. We had, my God, we had my church back home praying. We had my church and, just my family in Corpus who were praying. My friends, like, everyone was so hopeful. Everyone was so prayerful for us. And so we did have the support of our community. My ex-husband was good looking guy. Your girl ain't too shabby. So everybody, we had people who were like, we can't wait till y'all have a baby. It's going to be such a good looking baby. He or she's going to be so happy. And I remember like listening to all of that thinking, if you only knew how long we've been trying. If you only knew how emotional and how triggering those words were for me. And I just encourage all of us to just kind of be mindful of how we treat each other, mindful of how we handle each other, because they meant no harm. And they really thought that we would be good parents. And so they'd be like, when you gonna have a baby, you don't worry about your body, all kind of stuff. Just all kind of inquiries into my uterus, inquiries into my lifestyle, and judgmental, you're not young anymore type attitude. And I would hear all kind of things, and so I would always just kind of smile it away and excuse it and just kind of deflect, because it was a wound that was not healed. It was a source of pain, and it was a deep hole. Like, I had great family, I have wonderful friends, like I had a great job, or a well-paying job. It wasn't so great, but I had a lot of things that people wished for, and it just was not enough, because I did not have the one thing that I desired. And I was so void. I just felt such a huge void, and it could not be filled with money. It could not be filled with the new house that I bought. It could not be filled with girls' nights. Although and I don't want to sound contradictory, because this is what this channel is dedicated to. It's a channel of community. It's a channel of support. Even though your life doesn't look like what you thought it would look like, it's still a great life. I knew that. And I affirmed that, and other people affirmed that for me on a consistent basis, but it was still very difficult. You can be sad, you can be depressed, and and you can still be searching for gratitude in the midst of your situation. And that's what I was experiencing. So this period was very much about emotionally disconnecting myself from this situation and doing nothing. In video 3, I am going to get into life after divorce. Some of the things that, some of the appointments that I had to preserve fertility, dating while knowing how may not be possible, what that looked like, what that felt like. So I'll continue to discuss my experiences in the next video. So anyway, my nails look raggedy. I'm probably gonna rectify that in the next video. Bye guys, thanks for hanging out, thanks for hearing my story. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Bye.